Hello everybody and welcome back to another Classic Arcade repair. Today on the bench I have not one, two Gravatar boards. So this is going to be a 2-for-1. These look complete. This one looks like it's got a lot of socketed stuff up in here. That's actually pretty good as long as the work's good. And I don't know, it don't look great. I'll clean that up if need be. This one's pretty unworked on condition. Okay. So we will do one at a time, I guess. But I'll test both of them at the same time. I got my harness out. We'll hook that up. And we'll go through. And that one's got a leg out of the socket. We'll go through. I'll make sure all the chips are in properly. Maybe I'll pull them out. I'll reseat all the chips. I'll reseat all of the chips and then we'll try both of them out. And we will use this little guy right here. Alright, I've reseated all of the chips. Straightened out legs where I needed to. I always check this tantalum capacitor right here. That guy. That filters the -15. I always check that for short. And this one is short. Can't get on it. There we go. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. No. I'm testing the same thing. I got to be on this and this. Okay. It's not short. My bad. Yeah, now I'm actually testing across it. Okay, so that's not short. And you know what? Let's make sure that it does not short. There. All right, now I'll get the harness out. It's just a filter. It's just a filter on this negative rail. I'd rather it be not even in circuit and not have a chance to short, so it'll be fine for this test. I'll go ahead and hook up this guy right here and we'll see if this thing does anything. Okay, PCB number 1. That's some weirdness. It's doing something, surprisingly. Very surprisingly. But it's not doing much. Oh. I think the program is actually running. Perhaps. Let's try test. Let's reset. Huh. Okay, we got lots of weirdness there. Our vector video is no good, but it looks like the program's running. And I don't think it's telling me that any of the ROMs are bad, so... This thing looks like it's had a little bit of something going on over here. There's an arrow, a couple arrows. I don't know what that's all about. This part has been replaced. This is in the audio circuit, I believe. Well, you know what we can do really quick and easy is I can put a couple new DACs in it and see if it does any bit of difference. So let me do that. First things first, let's try 2 different DACs. Okay, I replaced both of the DACs, so let's fire it up. And we're getting the same thing. So that isn't it. Yeah, it looks like the same garbage. Okay. Okay, so looks like program is running, but we've got vector issues. And I see a little bit of folding over type of thing. Maybe this might be like a fold type thing. I might try a new analog switch right here. I don't know about this. This one was in the board, so let's try a new analog switch. I'm going to put the old DACs back in and try a new analog switch. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and just eliminate the AVG. Put my AVG PCB in, and same thing. So, and I went through and I just I got my I replaced this, same thing. I kind of jumped around on some chips with these 1495s, same thing. It's not those. I don't think it's the op amps. I think this is strictly a digital issue, so it's where we'll look. I'm going to take this off and put that back in. Okay, so just poking around on the board. I didn't even get schematic out or nothing. I just got the little scope turned on and started poking around, looking at outputs. And I came to this guy right here, which, let me go ahead and remove this. It's a 0, 0. And I look at the output and I'm like, okay, it's high all the time. Look at the inputs. All right, we got that signal. And a NAND gate, a 0, 0, you need 2 1s to get a 0. So this is the first input, which is high most of the time, it looks like. And then here's the second input, okay? And it's high most of the time. So that just goes to think, you would go to think here that this should be low at some point, because you're going, odds are there'll be two ones. Now, we don't know that for sure without actually analyzing it or doing a comparator. Now, I'm out of 00s. I do have some ordered. So from Mauser Electronics, I ordered a bunch of 00s. But I can do this with a 38. A 38, LS38. '7438 is right here. And you see this is an open collector output. Open collector just means it needs an external pull-up resistor. Open collector parts will not drive high. They can drive low, but they will not drive high. So, we know that it's the same pinout as a 00. It is the same pinout as the 00. So I'm just going to move this leg out of the way of that questioned output. Put this chip on the board. Remember, this is a 38. Now if I look at the output of this 38, it looks like that. It's low most of the time, but remember, it's an open collector output part, so it can't drive high. It needs an external pull-up. So that's what I did here. I got a 1K resistor. In one side of it, I've got going to 5 volts, and the other side, I'm connecting the other side to my output pin, like that. Now when I probe that output, it's pulled high. So now that's what the output looks like. That's what it should look like. So that tells me that this 00 is no good. But I don't have any 00s. So, unfortunately, well, I got some that I can borrow, so I'll do that. I've got another repair around here that I'm in the middle of that I know has a bunch of 00s on it. So I'll just grab one of those, put it right here, and one step at a time. Alright, here's that part. Now, next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to know, is this thing internally shorted high, or is something pulling this and holding it high? So what I did was I just clipped that leg off out of circuit. And now when I probe the little part of the leg that is still on the chip, like right here, you'll see it's high. And if I probe the actual pin on the board, it's floating. Right there. So yeah, that was a definitely a bad chip. Okay, I think I'm just going to continue looking at some outputs. We know that is not there. Let's look up what is that. I do have a Gravitar schematic. Let's look up what that pin actually does. Okay, here's our failure part. E7 pin 6. So it is providing a shift signal for this 194, and it's outputting vector signals. Yeah, so with that bad, vectors would be messed up. That's my Gravitar schematic. Okay, so we're hooked back up. new part. I replaced that cap. Remember, I cut that cap out. So let's go ahead and fire this baby up. Ooh, it's Black Widow. And I have no idea if this is flakiness or it's retracing or whatever. Let's go ahead and put this. Let's go ahead and put this. Oh, there it is, Black Widow. Let's put it on the big monitor. Okay, I got this monitor hooked up and fired up. And it's goofy. It's got some goofiness. There is definitely some silliness. Yikes. Huh. You know, the first thing I want to do? The first thing I want to do is check this work on all of this stuff, because I do not like the way this looks on the back side of the board. I may just replace these sockets. Remove them. Remove these ones and replace them. And this one, because I just don't like the way it's just pretty bad work. Because I'm not really seeing, I mean, I see analog issues for sure. And that's with the stuff like stair stepping and placed in the wrong spot. I don't think, I mean, that could be digital. It could be in a positioning issue. But I don't think so. I think this is analog, to be honest. So I want to eliminate issues and remove these sockets and clean this all up. Clean this prior work up. So that is what the first order of business is going to be. Then we can move on from there, because right now it's just a big question mark. You know, I don't know what's up with that stuff. So let's clean that up. Okay, did some maintenance up here. Replaced these sockets. Replaced the 2 voltage regulators. And yeah. A good way to think of these voltage regulators are they also supply the current that runs the op amps. It's not just voltage. So sometimes these things will have a good voltage on them, but the current capabilities are no good, and it'll cause flakiness on the screen. It's always good to replace these things. So yeah, they supply current. I sprayed deoxit in all these pots, and these pots are pretty hard to turn. They don't feel very good, to be honest. Well, I don't know. I think they'll be okay. Yeah, so went ahead and did all that. So I'll repopulate these chips I have here. these chips go back in the board. And we'll hook it back up and see if it looks any better. Actually, when I did this, the work might have been a little sloppy. I mean, it didn't look great, but I didn't see any like broken traces or anything glaring. It's cleaner now. It's still a little still a little alcohol there where I cleaned it. But yeah, went ahead and just cleaned these up, put new sockets in. So yeah, I'll go ahead and repopulate and we'll fire it up. Okay, hooked back up. Everything's in the right way. Okay, let's give it a shot. All right, we need to adjust our size pots. Okay, these pots are, I don't know what's going on with these pots. Alright, I'll be right back. Well, there we go. Let me mess around with some adjustments. Okay, well, I have just gone ahead and replaced these pots. The size and the center pots are 10K. And yeah, I just replaced those. Let's put it into test because I want to mess... Oh, wow. Huh. What was I going to say? I want to you know what? I want to remove this. I want to remove the DAC because I've seen before where this problem is caused by a bad DAC. So let's try replacing this guy. Okay, now that we got things straightened out, I put my TTL PCB on this thing and I got it in test, and it's working in test, but it's telling me that this thing's got issues. It's telling me both of the pokies are bad. It's telling me, I think that's ROM 8. ROM 8, Q is a pokey, P is a pokey, and E is this thing. So this thing is telling me that all of that's bad. Both of the pokies are bad, and this. So what I want to do is I want to replace the two pokies and this and see if it clear. Well, and then it should just have 8, and I don't know which ROM 8 is, but it's got a bad ROM. So I think that's what that 8 is, but the AVG chip is bad. Let me go ahead and replace these two pokies and then this guy and see if the E, Q, and P clear up. Okay, so two new old stock pokies and a EA ROM. Here's the others. Here's all the old parts. So let's fire this thing up and see what it tells us. Okay, the E went away, but it still says Q and P. That's pokies. So maybe the pokies are not actually bad, and we have like an enable signal to the pokies that is bad or something like that. I am pretty sure that Q and P are pokies. I did not look that in the manual, but I know that Q and P are the pokies on a Tempest. So that's probably the same test. So we might have, like, I don't know, I gotta look and see how the CPU communicates with the pokies. But yeah, that fixed this problem. So this chip, we got bent leg. No, this chip's just bad. So you know what it gets. Bad chips get the red dot. Oh, that's orange. Duh. Colorblind. Here's the red dot. Red dot. And the AVG gets a red dot. There we go. Okay, so we need to investigate what's up with the pokies. Let's take this thing out of test and see what it looks like. Yeah, there we go. So what was causing that goofiness was the AVG chip. Yeah, that looks perfect. There you go. I'm going to have to get the little scope back out, and we're going to look at the pokey schematic. Let's put it back into test. And we need to reset. And, well, now it just says E and 8. Let's fix 8. Let's look up 8, because that could be a part of the self-test. I think the pokies were fine. I think these pokies are actually good. So I'm going to put these back in the board. The AVG is bad, and this chip might be good as well. The AVG I know is bad. So I am going to look up the manual for 8. What does 8 mean? And let's fix that, because that could be causing the errant errors on the other stuff being tested. Okay, the manual says that is KL1. So I've got it out right here. I checked the legs. There's no broken legs. I tried reseating it, and I turned it back on. It still says 8. So, yeah, it's that guy right there. So I'll have to program another one of these. I've put the original parts back in the board. And we'll go ahead and reprogram a new one of these. Okay, I got the Data I/O programmer out. This is a 2532. I've got it cleaned up. I did download the ROMs for Black Widow, and I tested this against KL1 in MAME, and it is incorrect. So being that this is a 2532 and it's not exactly a cheap chip programmed, I'm going to try to just reuse this. I'm going to try erasing it and see if I can reprogram it. Okay, so I got the chip erased, put in here, and I've read the chip, and it comes up F000, which tells me that it is full of FF, which it is erased. So we will try to load KL1 into RAM, and we'll try to program it. Okay, 88E1, and just program device. And hopefully it's able to program. And good news, it is programmed. Alright, so let's put this thing back together. Okay, got the newly programmed EEPROM in the board. So let's go ahead and fire up test. Uh-oh. Well, now what? Huh. All right, let me try to figure out what's going on. All right, I just had to reseat the connector, apparently. But it's in test, and now the 8 is gone, but we still have EQP. Huh, interesting. Very interesting. So we either have... Well, I need to look at the schematic. Is there something common between these? Like, is a 139 or something that activates all three of these or something like that? I don't know. I have to look at the schematic and try to figure out, because I don't, right now, I don't think it's the chips themselves. So, to the schematic. Okay, I'm looking at the address decoding portion of the schematic here, and I'm kind of interested in this part right here because it has the I/O signals and the EA-ROM read signal. It is a bipolar ROM, and it's addressed by the address bus. This has EA-ROM. I don't think there's a signal called Pokey. Let me find the Pokey chips. Come on. Here they are. No, that's not them. Here they are. Yeah, see, we have I/O, I/O. So there's two I/O signals going to the Pokies. Yeah, so I'm kind of curious about that bipolar. So I think I'm going to probe that thing and see how the signals look on it, and yeah, see what's going on with that. Alright, unfortunately, these sockets are garbage and have to be replaced. I've noticed I removed this chip and then put it back in. There's nothing wrong with this bipolar ROM. The problem is these sockets. So they have to go. If I mess around with them, I get, like, it wouldn't even boot a minute ago. Remember when that one time I turned it on and I was like, oh boy, what's going on? It wouldn't boot. Well, I pressed down on these, I reset that up there, and then I turned it back on and it came up, and I thought it was the edge connector. It's not. It's these, because it just happened again to me, where I turned it on and it wouldn't boot, and I messed with this ROM on right here, and then it booted. So these sockets are just garbage, and they have to go. These are not easy to replace either, because these don't pop off. The black tops don't pop off of these sockets. They have to be desoldered. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to desolder these, and it has to be done. So no fun, but it has to be done. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, and shortly hereafter, new sockets in this row. So I got all put back together, and let's fire it up. Uh-oh. Nothing. Huh. Okay, well, what's going on? Maybe I should check and make sure I got all of these in the right way. All right, let me take a look, and I'll be back. Well, I got lucky. I just took a guess, and I removed one of the sockets, and this one was shorted. I took all the ROMs out, and I started testing, rechecking my work, and I found there was a short between one of the address bits and data bit 7. And I was like, well, I guess I just got to start picking sockets, and I picked this one, and this is where the short was. So the short is no more. So, bad on me for being sloppy, but thank goodness it only took me one socket. So I'll clean that up really good, put that back in, and give it a shot. All right, once again, we were put back together. So let's see what we get. Hopefully it works. I did double check, and the short was gone, so. Well, that ain't good. Huh. I don't know. Now it's working. Well, it says E, which is this thing. So is that actually bad? I don't know. Let me grab another one. But the pokies are now looking okay. So let me grab another one of these EA ROMs and see what happens. Well, I think I figured out the mystery of the random bad codes. My 5-volt rail was at 5.3 volts, and I moved it down. I'm thinking that might have been an issue, possibly. Come on, what is going on? No, I think these sockets might be bad. I might have to replace all of the sockets. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Not tonight. I've done enough for today. But tomorrow, I got to replace all of these. All of these sockets have to go. Unfortunately. But yeah. So I'm back to my original thought that these chips are not bad. And I put a new CPU in here just to see if that was an issue, but it's not the CPU. These sockets, although they look double wipe, they are double wipe. These gold ones are not very good sockets. I can try to maybe clean it. Let me try cleaning the sockets. Okay. The bipolar ROM that I suspected. I got the little scope I'm just probing on here. When I hit, here's 3. Pin 3. When I hit pin 4, it goes away. Yeah. Hit pin 4. Bye-bye. It'll come back. Also happens when I hit pin 5. Yeah. This thing's flaky. I believe we got a bad... I think that's a 123. It's an 8-bit. 8-bit part. So... yeah, I think I need to program a new bipolar ROM. And hopefully that should do it. I cleaned these with lacquer thinner. These sockets with lacquer thinner, and they came really clean. I don't think the sockets were the problem. I think it's this thing's really flaky. I think that's the problem. So I'm going to replace that bipolar. Okay. It is a new day, and I have decided to put my Space Dual board up on here because I know it is working 100% good. And what I have found out is, remember I had marked this EA-ROM bad? This EA-ROM is actually bad. Because right now I'm testing my just a spare that I have kind of in stock. And there's no error messages. Now if I turn this off and I remove the good one, put this one in, and fire it up. There it is. So that one is definitely no good. So this guy is bad. Now the good news is this is the AVG chip that was in the other Black Widow board, and it's good. So he had one good one, one bad one. So now we know this is bad. So that is a definite now. At least we know that much, that this is no good. So yep, this guy's no good. Go in the bad pile. And this one I know is good, so test it one more time. And the known good 100% working board. Okay. Space Duel works a little different. It comes up, but it goes through its test a little slower. No, it went through its test quick there. And yeah, no error. So, okay, I'm going to put this back up. This is the AVG chip that goes in his other Black Widow board. So we use that and this EA ROM. Okay, for a last ditch effort, you know what I could do is I could just go ahead and replace this 245. I replaced these 244s up here because they're sampling inputs and stuff like that. And I figured maybe those are interfering with... Okay, yeah, I don't know. Camera might be acting up. I don't know. But anyway, I cannot get that QP to go away. And I know that the pokies are not bad. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, QP. Okay, I'm going to set up, if I do the switches, you can see movement, right? And another switch, if I can find, I can't find, let me set this up on tripod. Okay, so we're looking in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trigger switches. This is coin switch. Okay, you see that moving. This is another switch. Okay, another switch here. And another. Okay. Now this is actually going to be Space Duel Player 1. Up, down, left, right, fire. Okay. Here is, this one I believe is Black Widow. Black Widow, move. Left, down, right, up. Okay. This is Gravatar. Up, down, left, right, fire. Okay. And this is Space Duel Player 2. Down, up, left, right, fire. Okay. Here's Black Widow, fire. Up, down, left, right. Okay. And I think that's all of it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's all of the and you can see that all works fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and back this up, take it out of test, and play a little bit of Black Widow. Try to anyway. So let me find the Black Widow plugins. Here's one. This is move, and this is fire. So, okay, should be able to play Black Widow. So I will coin. Okay, that works. And start. Start, I guess. I don't know. There you go. Now let me put my name in, maybe my initials. Fire. I'm going to be the top score. Fire, fire. All right. So I'm up here as the top score, so I'm going to turn it off and see if it saved the score. Okay. It's off. Let's give it a second. And let's turn it back on. I guess we gotta wait for it to cycle through scores or something like that. Black Widow. No, it didn't. Well, now it's not giving me any errors. I don't know. And now it's given EQP error. Again, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. It's like when it's running. Okay. When it's on, it's fine. It's when it starts up, it's got issues. It seems. Why would that be? All right, let me think about a couple of things. I'm kind of at a loss right now. All right, so I replaced the 245 that is right here, because these are the data lines that come in before this. And you'll see that the pokies are interfaced right to the CPU and not buffered. So I was thinking maybe this has an influence on this side of the bus that is kind of corrupting things maybe a little bit. I also replaced these three, which I do believe come in right here as well. I've replaced both of the address buffers that interface with this. I replaced this bipolar ROM. I burnt one and replaced it. I tested these. Both of these are this one was bad. Flat out bad. This one tested good, but I wanted to try a new one anyway. I probably should have just burnt one. But yeah, so this one wasn't actually bad, but well, it's replaced now, so. And who knows? I just couldn't tell if it was flaking out, because this directly interfaces with those I/O signals that activate the pokies. And all this gets are address bits. And I have the address bus, the upper bits. You know what? What are also the upper bits connected to? The upper bits are connected to this bipolar ROM, which that is the ROM selector, which I don't think that has anything to do with anything. And that's the whole decoding is that. Other than this 138, but that has lower address bits. All of this address decoding is done with bipolar ROMs instead of like decoding it with 42s and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah, this one, this is a head scratcher. I don't know. I really don't. So I think one more try. I'll try a new CPU. One more try, and see if that makes a difference. But I don't think it will. And this one plays good, but I just don't. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't. I'm at a loss. There's no reason for this to be doing this that I can find. Alrighty, I'll be back. Yeah, so I put a new CPU in it, and it's doing the same thing. So I really don't know. This one, this one's got me. Why does it come up with pokey errors? We have a buffered, a read write buffered. Read write. Where's that? Read, not write. That comes right out of B1. Is F3 possibly... I could replace F3 because that's connected to... You see, F3 is connected to this signal right here. And it's also connected to buffered theta 2. F3, and there's those signals right there, buffered theta 2 and read not write buffered. I mean, that's F3. F3's connected, which F3 is right here. And that's a S04, so I could replace that. Right there. We'll replace that. And if that doesn't do it, then I'm just at a loss. I don't know. So we'll go with that. All right. Well, I have, just in case, decided to replace these 3 sockets. The 2 pokey sockets and the CPU socket. So I'm going to replace those. And if that doesn't get it, then I just don't know. So... yeah, got the gun heating up. We'll clear all the solder out of the holes and go ahead and put new sockets in. Okay, new sockets. Same problem. Yeah. How weird. I mean, is it the program? Program ROMs? Could it be? Could it be the program ROMs? Let me, man, I guess the last ditch effort is program a new set of ROMs. Plug them in. See what happens. And if it doesn't fix it, I'll just erase them. Well, this is extremely interesting. I get down to M1, and let's try reseating it. Verify M1. Does not verify. I got the main ROMs pulled up. M1. Let's load M1. Loading file M1. And verify. Does not verify with MAME. That could be the issue, but it doesn't. Self-test did not tell me that there was a bad ROM. All of these ones are fine with MAME, including the one that I reprogrammed, remember? And I've already went through and programmed a whole set. I'm going to go ahead and grab one more, and I'm going to program M1. I have to make sure this is the right chip. This one, I don't think this is a 2532. I think this is a 2732. Come on. There we go. M1 is loaded, so let's go ahead and program. I think this is one of those ROMs that I bought on eBay that were listed as 2532s, but they actually are 2732s. Pretty sure that's what that is. So programming M1 right now. And it doesn't take these 2532s terribly long to program. Boy, what a mess if it is just a bad ROM. And self-test didn't tell me that there was a bad ROM. First pass error. Try another one. Well, we'll try. No, that one's either not erased or something. All right, we'll try this one. Right, M1 programmed successfully. I actually removed the sticker from the M1 that was bad, and I am currently erasing it. And I'm also erasing that one that showed a bit error. I think that was just not erased. So I'm erasing those two EPROMs, and yeah, if I'll reprogram his if it will reprogram. And so yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in with this set. I could probably just go ahead and erase these, but I think I'll hold on to them because I got another Black Widow to do. And once that one's good to go, then I'll erase these. Right, well, I decided to go ahead and put the fluke on this thing and just verify. I read the ROMs and all of that, and what's weird is with the fluke on it, I don't get any errors. Very weird. I don't know. Yeah, I can reset it. No errors. I can turn it off. Turn it back on. No errors. Okay, so that's very strange. All right, I don't know. Weird. Yeah, put the CPU back in it, and we get QP. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on from this one. It works, but I just don't understand. I don't understand what's happening here. So we're going to move on to the next Black Widow board. Okay, now this is Black Widow board number 2. I got it hooked up to the little scope. Go ahead and fire it up. Nothing. And that's test mode. Nothing. Back into test. Nothing. Reset. Yeah, this one doesn't do anything. So let's get the little scope out, do a little probing around. All right, yeah. We probe the reset pin. There's plenty of signs of life. Come down to some of the other signals. And I looked and I remembered I removed that bipolar ROM, remember? I got to replace that bipolar ROM. And then we'll see what we got. Okay, we're ready to go again. Replaced that part. And this one was missing a 0.22 microfarad cap right here. So I replaced that. Okay, let's fire it up. Hey! It's got an error. So let's put it on the big monitor. I didn't have the big monitor hooked up. So let's hook it up and see what that error code is. Okay, should be coming up. P. So it's telling us that one of the pokies is bad. I'll go over to the manual and find out which one is P. It's one of these, obviously. So, I mean, that's pretty good. So let's find out which one that is. Yeah, see, it says P. Okay, I put a good pokey in B3 because that correlates to that spot. And it still says that it's bad. So once again, we have just errant. I don't know. I don't know. I could try swapping these two and, you know, see what happens. Let me do that. Okay, so I swapped those and now it says Q. So I don't know, maybe I'll try putting a new one in this spot and see what happens. Okay, I got two good pokies in the board and it says Q and P. I'm beginning to just think that this damn test is flaky. Both of the boards are doing that. It's very suspect. I don't know. I'm not buying it. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know. And another thing, these ROMs, this Black Widow set that I got from MAME are not, that I downloaded, they're not in MAME. The ones that are these chips, these files are not in MAME. So that's kind of questionable. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. So I'm going to put the original pokies back in it and we'll play this one and see how it rolls. We'll do some maintenance on it, replace the regulators and stuff, and just go with that. See what happens. I don't know. Okay, same thing with this board. Put it on the Fluke and it works great. No errors. I don't know. Same thing. Is it my setup? Could it be my setup? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see how it would be. I don't know. It's very weird. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But all the Fluke checks are good. The ROMs are good. All the ROMs of the RAM. All that. So, who knows? This one has a high score. So that one's holding high score there. It's running fine here with the fluke. Who knows? Now this one, when I did play it, I didn't have any sound at all, so I cut out the amps, the two 324 op amps. I'm just going to replace both of those and then see how it plays and how it sounds. Alright, I have the second, this is that second Black Widow set. And I went through, I replaced the capacitors. I replaced both of the amps. I just did that, I don't know, why not? Replaced all the caps up here. I replaced the this cap too, that tantalum cap that blows up. I replaced the two regulators. Just doing some maintenance. These sockets had already been replaced, so that's good. And these sockets had already been replaced. And these ones are dual swipe ones that I was able to clean up, and they're fine. I've got it in test right now. It doesn't come up with any errors. I think there's something with my setup. Is this thing, when I put it into test, when it's already running, I don't get errors. But if I turn it on in test, and both of the boards do this, so now if I turn it on now in test, it'll probably give me errors. Yeah, see, now it's not even starting. It'll do this too. Both of the boards do this, so I'm thinking it's my setup. Something with my setup it does not like. But if I take it out of test, it'll run. See, it's fine. And now if I put it into test when it's turned on and running, if I put it into test now, it'll be fine. Yeah, see, I don't know. So I just think it's my setup. Something ain't quite right with my setup with these style boards. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm wondering if, because these are Gravitar boards. You know, it says Gravitar. Is there a change that you need to make when you make it over to a Black Widow set with a ROM swap? Do you have to change anything else? I don't know. But, yeah, so both of these boards do this. So I'm just going to call it my setup because they work fine. And I did verify at least that one EA ROM was no good. I verified that in my Space Duel board. So, and I do know that one of the AVG chips was bad. And the other board had a bad ROM. The ROM needed it wasn't bad, it just needed to be erased and reprogrammed. So, let's set up on the tripod and make sure all of our sounds are good and all of our movements are good, fire, move, and all that good stuff. All of the coin and start and all that good stuff. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's coin up. Oh, it's in free play. I want to take it out of free play really quick. Okay, now we have to insert coin. There we go. I'm just going to let it time out. Left stick. Okay, we got audio issues. Alright. Let me grab another op amp. I think one of them might be bad, possibly. I'm just going to go ahead and swap two op amps because I don't remember which one was which. So. Alright, let's try it again. I got two new op amps in the board now. No, still not working. All right. Well, next logical thing, I'm gonna put two new pokies in the board. Although, why wouldn't test tell me that there was a bad pokey? I don't know. We'll check it out. We'll see. We'll try two new pokies. All right, here we go. Okay, coin. Start. Yeah, there you go. another game. Alright, now I need to find out which one of these pokies is bad. So I'm going to swap one of the pokies in at a time and see what happens. So let me turn it off. And alright. Now I put one of the pokies in. And we'll play the game, see if we get all of our controls and sounds. Okay, press start. Okay. Yep. Okay, this one sounds good. Let's turn it off. Now I'm going to put the other, I'm going to mark that one with a green dot. Okay. And now let's try the other pokey and see what happens with it. Okay. And let's see if we get all of our sounds with this one. That would be weird. Okay. Nope, that pokey's bad. Yeah, that one is no good. I'm going to put a red dot on that one. Okay. So there's one failed pokey chip. All right. There's the bad pokey. There's the good pokey. Red dot, green dot. And of course there's my new pokey. So one of them needs to be replaced. And you know what I want to do is I want to put the other board back on and play it one more time. Make sure all of the sounds are good. Because this one was really loud. I think that one might need new amps as well. Because I don't think that one was as loud as that. So let's go ahead and put the other board back down and play a game with it. Okay, here's this board, and let me mess with this size a little bit. Okay, the other board. Let's play a game with that one. I just want to hear the sound, make sure it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds okay. It's a little muffled though. It sounds like it might be a little bit muffled. So I am going to go ahead, just as a little bit of maintenance, I'm going to replace the 2 amps. And that should be good. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Then we'll play it one more time and just be done with it. Okay, just went ahead and replaced the 2 amps. Socketed. And let's see if it's any less muffled. If it's not, it's fine. The sounds are there. It's just, we'll see if that made it sound any better. Furnace is getting ready to shut off, which is good. Just give that a second to shut off. Any day now. Coin up. Just let it count down while the furnace shuts off. Oh. Such a cool game. Oh, get out of here. Cool game. So it didn't, I don't think it necessarily sounded any better. It still sounds, I mean, it sounds okay. It sounds good. So this one, AVG is bad. I replaced the regulators. I replaced the DAC for some reason. I'm not exactly sure. Remember, the pots were bad. Did change the pots. I went through chasing a problem that I don't think exists with the whatchamacallit, test mode being funky. I replaced a bunch of 244s on the board and a 245. Kind of didn't need to do that, but hey, new parts. Had a bad, this chip was bad. The bipolar ROM was bad. The EA ROM was bad. I replaced all of these sockets and these sockets. And this one already had caps replaced, so I didn't have to replace the caps. And now, since this one is turned on, I'm going to let this one run for 3 hours. It is right now, it is 8:30 in the morning. So 11:30 in the morning, I'll take this one off and put that one on. Both of these have to go for 3 hours. So, okay, that was what was done with this one. I did have to replace this ROM, M1. But this one I erased. I was able to erase this one. This one I replaced. But I actually don't think I replaced it. I think I just swapped it. Yeah, because the original one is right there. And I just erased it. So I'll just do a swap-a-rooski with that. No big deal. This is the actual chip that was in the board, though. Right here. Yeah, so. Okay, that's this. And this one had a bad chip right here. That chip was bad, if I recall. The 00. I replaced this S04, which didn't need to be replaced. Remember, I was chasing that, what I thought was an issue, but it's both boards doing that with the test, so it can't. I think it's my setup. For whatever reason, my setup does not like running this. And it might be because my AR is set up. My AR is actually a Centipede AR setup. My AR and transformer, so maybe it's just a little bit different. I don't know. This one, this board, all the ROMs were good. I didn't have to replace any sockets on this. I'll cover these windows up that are exposed. I did replace the capacitors, the electrolytics on this. Replaced the amps on both boards. I got both boards with new amps. This one was missing a 0.22 microfarad cap right there. What was missing? Replaced that. I didn't have to do anything with the pots. I replaced the regulators. Had a bad pokey. And replaced this bipolar ROM and this EA ROM. I had to replace this, I think. I replaced one of them on one of the boards. Maybe I didn't replace this one, but I did replace that one. That's the way it was. But yeah, pokey. Had to replace a pokey on this board. So this one, after 11:30, I'll throw that one on and let it run for 3 hours and just make sure that I'll come back out and play it before I call it good. Make sure it plays right. So yeah, it's going to do it for Black Widow ×2. So I want to say thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. And as always, I hope you learned something watching this video. I hope it was worthwhile. So, all right, until next time, bye for now.